Wake up, goddammit. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Taj Longino Show. If you haven't already, join me on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Snapchat at Taj Longino Show. All right. Tonight's topic, I'm hoping that everybody, checks in and engages with me on this discussion. Usually when I have this discussion with some friends of mine or peers or just in general conversation, it turns into one hell of a conversation because of because of the type of conversation that I'm here for this. Let's go. Just because the type of the topic of it, you know what I mean? Is we're gonna be discussing men and are you still considered head of household? Are you still considered king of the house? Are you still considered the man if you are not paying all of the bills? Are you defined by how many bills you pay? Are you defined by how much money is in your pocket? Are you defined by, are you just strictly paying the bills? Or are you paying for, lifestyle as well? What are you being defined of? What are the criteria? Somebody's laughing. Y'all could just, join in if you want to join in. Actually, this is I know I'm gonna piss some people off. If you want to join in, actually, since it's one of my first times, this is my second time using this platform. So if you want to join in, I'm pretty sure I will see you. And we can bring you up, whether you're on your computer or you're on your cell phone. Okay, so just let me know. I'll pull you in, and we can have this discussion. I'm not gonna call it a debate because I have my own thoughts and views about it. But I just want to see where everybody else is at in 2022. A lot of things have changed, and we've seen what's the what's the young artist's name? What was her name? She got into it. She was with Quavo. How you say her name? Shawty, Shauna. How do you say her name? And she was on that. She was on a podcast, and they were asking her if Quavo has done everything that he's supposed to do in this relationship as a man. I know. Would you grant him a threesome? I think that was the question. And she said, "Yeah, I'll give him an opportunity to, you know, me and another man or something." And then she's also said, "If you can't pay for a Birkin, then you know what I mean, let your ass go back to the streets." And I just I don't know. I got a daughter, right? And I always I teach my daughter to be able to depend on yourself. You know what I mean? Be able to depend on yourself. You don't wait around to see what a man is going to do. You don't wait around to see what somebody else is going to do. You came into this world by yourself, and that's how you're going to leave out. And while you're here, you make sure that you can self-sustain. You make sure that you can take care of yourself in every aspect. Because dad may not be around, granddad may not be around, big bro may not be around. You may not have a man around. So you always want to make sure that you can take care of yourself and that you're not sitting around waiting for Prince Charming to come along with a mean bankroll and an 800 credit score and just take care of you and sweep you off your feet. That could happen, but what happens if it don't? What happens if you are here in the dating game in 2022, which everything is, as one of my guys called it, everybody's over sexual. Everybody's doing they're not even sure what they really want, so they're just trying anything. So the dating game is a little hectic right now. I wouldn't know, but the dating game is a little hectic right now. So what happens if you don't have somebody there to change that tire? What happens if you fumble something financially and you got to figure out a play? You got to rob Peter to pay Paul or rob Pam to pay Sam. You know what happens when things happen in life and there's no man there to do that? What are you going to do? What happens if you don't have a father, or if you don't have a stepfather, or somebody that's in your life, that's been in your life, like a father, you can't go to him. He may not be around. So what are you going to do? You got to be able to take care of yourself. And what I hear too often, I see people gonna let me have this conversation by myself tonight. There's some bullshit. I know any given day when I'm not in front of this right here, and we had this discussion, it goes on for days, especially on Facebook in the comments, Instagram. It goes on forever. Now y'all gonna let me have this conversation by my damn self. Y'all full of shit. I'm ready. Well, if you're ready, come on in. I don't know who this Facebook user is, but if you're ready, come on in. Let's do it. I live for this shit, man. Let's do it. Because I actually had an interview that I wanted to do for tonight, but it's gonna air next week. And you definitely don't want to miss out on that. So tonight I was like, man, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? And it came to me. I was like, you know what? This is perfect. You know what I mean? This is perfect. Let's see what we can get. Let's see how people feeling and right now about this particular subject because I don't know. I'm not gonna give my opinion just yet. I'm going to see if we can get some people in here and we can have this discussion. But I just want to see what the ladies are thinking. I got a couple people in the comments. I want to see what the ladies are thinking because, you know, we listening. Don't listen. Don't listen. Don't do that. You see, when I'm in everybody's face and we have these discussions, nobody's listening. Everybody's engaging. Everybody's yelling back and forth and trying to get their point across. None of that shit. Y'all gonna sit here and let me. Y'all want to. So I know what you're doing. You want me to say something so you can hold me to the fire. Yeah, so you can say, Todd said that. Can you bring me in? Yes, I can bring you in. Are you ready? Because I'm. Hold on. Let's see how to work this thing. Um, that's the chat room. Uh, 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 uh. Is there a? Let's see. Hold on. Give me a second, child. I haven't been on. Actually, I was interviewed. I was on a podcast being interviewed, and uh, it was easier for me to, I just came right in. You have to. I know what you got to do. I know what you got to do. You got to go back out and come back in. It'll ask you if you want to enter into the broadcast, and then off to your left at the bottom left corner, it's going to ask you to if you want to join, and then you can come. That can probably bring you in that way. Mm-mm. What is your name, by the way? Who is this that I'm talking to in the comments? And then I also want to hear from my homies, man. I want to hear from some of my guys, and I want to know how y'all, what's your thought process on this? You know what I mean? Um, are you anti pay all bill? I know comedian TK Kirkland was on Vlad TV, and can you see? Yeah, I can see your profile, but it's not. Why does it not let me bring you in? Hold on. Yes, I can see you. I can see your profile in the comments, but it's not allowing me to bring you into the broadcast. So what did I just do? I think I just messed myself up. There we go. Okay. There we go. Did you go back out and come back in? Go out and come back in. And then, like I said, at the bottom, it should, give you a suggestion to join. And then on the bottom left corner, it should give you another option to join The podcast you said you did. Well, I'll be damn. Yes, I'm having issues because I cannot. Hold on, let me try again. I don't see that option. Guess. Guess must. Guess play a sound you enter. I got it open for guests to come in. Hold on, don't disappear. This is some bullshit. Maybe I should have did a test run. But your comments is coming up on the about that thing. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Let me see what this does. I don't know. Let me stay there. Let me see what's going on because I'm not sure why I'm not able to bring you in. I'm not really sure what allow me to do that. So for everybody that's watching, I do appreciate y'all. Just give me some time here. Give me a few seconds to see what's going on. If you would like to join, just let me know in the comments if you would like to join the conversation. I gotta see why it's not allowing me to bring people in. What in the what's going on here? I got everything working. Uh, hell of a time for this to be happening. Okay. It won't even let me share. Take this link here. Let me put this link in there. There we go. I'm not sure. Okay. Hang tight. Hang tight. Let me figure this out while I continue to talk to the people. But I just want to see what everybody's thinking on this particular subject. On men, being financially responsible for a household, whether they're married or not married. Um, whether they have kids by the woman or not. What are their financial responsibilities? I will say this. I think every household is different. I think you got to work your household um, to what's best, what fits you guys. If let's say she makes more money, is he still financially responsible for the entire home if she makes more money than him? I don't know. Maybe he has other attributes. Maybe he has other skill sets. Maybe he has other things that he can contribute to substitute for the fact that he can't financially support the entire home. You know, um, but you got to look at it like this. Just they're celebrities. Celebrities got well. I think women need to learn their position in a man's life within the divine order. True, because you got to look at it like this. You got rich people. You got wealthy people. Both got money. Both powerful, and they miserable as hell. Then you got people that are poor together, and they happy as hell. Now my ring light just went down. You know, um, you got people, what's going on? Just having all kind of breakdowns tonight. My light go out. can't bring people in. They don't want me to have this discussion. That's what this shit is. They don't nobody want to have me this discussion. They don't want me to have this conversation. But you got to look at it that way. You can have money. People can, you can have somebody that's financially supporting you, but the guy's a piece of shit. You can have you can not have anything and the guy's a piece of shit. You know what I mean? You could have money and it could be all good and you live happily ever after. You cannot have the money and live happily ever after. There's people of all walks of life, and everybody does not base their love, their relationship off money, off what can you do for me? What have you done for me lately? How many bills can you pay? You got some women who feel like shit. The very first time we started having sex, my bills are yours. My hair is your responsibility. My nails is your responsibility. My car payment, all this is you, buddy. Once we laid down, that was it. You signed the contract. And I don't know. I just don't think that's I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. I think people need to have the conversation up front when they first start dating. They need to get a very concise understanding of what each other wants. Well, that is a different scenario because you still need to use wise judgment for choosing your mate. Yes, agreed. Definitely need to be wise in when you're choosing your mate because you know just because see here's another here it is. Just because you have fun with somebody, you have a good time when y'all go out and you have good conversation, does not mean that person will make a good partner. Does not mean that person will make a great spouse. You have to have that conversation. You got to figure it out. Is this person going to be a good parent? Have you ever seen them around kids? What's their spiritual beliefs? How do they handle their money? What have they been through in their past? And how did they come out of that? You know what I mean? Like it's so many questions that people need to answer. But I think people live in this fairy tale world um where they think everything just supposed to just supposed to happen. You know what I mean? It's just supposed to fall in your lap. And I don't agree with that. I just think people need to have the conversation. They need to ask the right questions. A lot of people they don't ask the right questions. They end up in these bullshit relationships and these business arrangement marriages, and then they realize they're not happy for whatever reason. Well, it's because, then you hear them say stuff like, "I can't believe she did that. I can't believe he said that. I can't believe he did this." I know you can't believe it because you never asked the questions. You never paid attention. You didn't do your background check. So of course you're gonna feel a certain way when things happen because you didn't do your due diligence. Now, for those who feel like they gotta pay all the bills to feel like a man, what makes you why do you feel that way? Is there no other way for you to feel like a man than what's in your pocket? Money's printed. Shit ain't real. So what other means if we stripped men, if you strip all men today of all their worldly possessions, their credit, their money, everything, and all women had to pick from was how you present, how everybody's standing in line. Everybody's standing side by side. We all equal. Ain't no jewelry, ain't no cars, ain't no house, ain't no condos, ain't no Fortune 500 company, ain't no 850 credit score. You all the same. Now, what would define you then as a man? What would define you then as a king? You strip all that away from you. All she got is what's standing. All you got is the conversation now. You can't use none of the other stuff. Say, damn, that's too much to type. Let me try to get you in here. I cannot believe this is happening. Hold on. Mm-mm-mm. Hang tight with people. Hang tight. Do not cut out. I'm trying to figure out why it's not allowing me to bring people on. Hope y'all hear that. Just had my phone turned off. This is really, really pissing me off. Okay, well, I'm sorry, Sharita. We'll figure this out another time. Because right now I just don't have the answer. I thought this was a little simpler. When I was using another platform, it wasn't this difficult. I could just pull people in and get busy. Um, but no, I think people just unrealistic these days and just automatically putting responsibilities in men's lap without understanding what they're really asking for. And can you match what you are demanding? Can you match what you're demanding? If you're women have a lot of demands. They have a lot of criteria and requirements. But can you meet them? Can you meet them? That's the question. Hold on. You know, you want him to have the best credit score. Do you have the best credit score? You want him to have X amount of dollars of liquid dollars. May I add, liquid dollars. You want him to be liquid, but are you liquid? You want him to, he got to have a $1 million business, but do you have $1 million business? Can you deliver the same things that you are asking for, or you just want somebody to take care of your ass? That's a lot of that going on too. You know, some men you gotta be careful, fellas. It's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Let me make this very clear. I don't want nobody taking my words out of context. Happens every time. Nothing wrong with if you're in a relationship, and you are working towards an engagement, and you want that engagement to lead to a marriage. There's nothing wrong with showing her that you can handle the house. There's nothing wrong with that. If you feel you can, if you know you can, and it's not going to put a strain on you, and you feel you want to do that, it's totally your choice. That's up to you. Nothing wrong with that. But understand why you're doing it and who you are doing it for. Don't be the guy who just tricks off his money for every female that he meets. Oh, there we go. Finally got it. All right. Let's go. Let's get it. Oh, there we go. Finally got it. All right. Let's go. Let's get it. How you doing?
I'm good.
Oh, there
I'm
we go.
good.
Finally got it. Oh,
I had to play with it over here, so I found another link
you
on
got
your
me.
page and went through that way. And then it got me on.
Okay.
But I wanted to really touch bases on what you were speaking of in regards to is a man still a man, regardless if he makes a certain amount of money or has more to bring to the table than the young lady. And I want to say this because I consider myself an alpha female.
Okay.
And um,
A lot of
just
men can't handle those.
right. And so, you know, I'm in a long distance relationship, um, and I am uh, in the position right now as the provider because we're in two different countries. So,
Mm.
with that being said, my king is still my king, because I respect his spirit. Um, and again, a lot of us here in the States have been just really uh, desensitized to the real conditioning of what our role as a woman is in a man's life. And I had to like step back and reevaluate that because I'm so alpha. And, we can't belittle a man because he doesn't have more than what we require. And like you said, How can we require something of somebody that we don't have our damn self? And that's real. And when you love somebody
Eh,
and you are in a true partnership, you got to know that the pendulum is going to swing different each and every time. So one is going to always sometime have to offset and help the other. That's what a partnership is. And first, we got to learn what a partnership is and learn who we are before we can even really truly go into a partnership with anybody.
and that's really what I was just touching base on. Understanding off top what it is you want, who you want it from, and are you even prepared to receive the things that you're asking? Excuse me. Are you prepared? If you're asking God, you're praying to God for this particular individual. They got to be a certain height, certain weight, certain skin tone, certain hair, certain all these things. But are you ready to meet that individual when it comes time? Are you going to be in that position to meet them, or when that opportunity presents itself, it's going to pass you by because you wasn't ready? You know, it is like I said, there's nothing wrong for somebody who wants to financially take care of a home. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that at all. But do what's best for your home. You have a lot of men out here going out here every day, killing themselves, breaking their back at work more than they're at home. They got a job, they got a second job, they got a side hustle. They're doing everything they can because only thing they're focused on, I gotta take care of this house. I gotta take care of this house. But to me, no real woman will sit back and let a man destroy himself like that.
Exactly.
She would help. She would assist. You know what I mean? It would be a team. This is not a one man show. It would be a team. And if you truly have a teammate, and if you truly have a partner, she's not going to sit back and just watch you kill yourself. She's going to step. She's going to help.
Now
She's
let's
going to put.
go.
She's not even use the. Let me not use the word help.
No,
Um,
that's the correct word
she's,
because
she's going to
that is our
contribute. Both parties
divine.
are going to contribute.
That's our
To me,
divine
to me,
order.
both
We're
parties.
helpmates. We are
Yeah,
help.
it's going to be two people contributing to this lifestyle that we want to live. It shouldn't be just one person doing that because what happens if that person falls off? They can get anything can happen, man. Life shit happens.
That's
And
true.
what happens when it happens? Are you going to bail? Because now the ball's in your court. You may not be able to handle it. Or did you not really love him to begin with? Really, what he could do for you, and not because it was who he is as a person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think too, women have, and I'm not bashing women, and I'm not telling women to go out there and just get with any kind of man because you still have a responsibility, to be chosen by the correct person. Key word I said, to be chosen. Sometimes we go out here and we pick up what we want and put us in a whole nother trick bag. But that's a whole nother topic. But
Conversation, right?
but if you're getting back to the spiritual and divine order of things, and a woman really taking the time to get in the book and study what your position is in a man's life. And I think a lot of women have gotten away from really understanding what our position is because we've had to wear so many hats because we done dealt with so many fucked up men. We don't know who to be, when to be it, and how to be. You know what I'm saying? So to get
Right.
back in the divine order of what our role is as a woman, we are there to encourage our man, uplift our man, um, dreams, goals, and aspirations of his benefits us. So if we are supporting that movement, we're supporting ourselves in the same sense. So this is something
Agreed.
that I'm having to relearn because I've been so independent. But when you have a real man that's not gonna tolerate that shit, and he's gonna demand his respect, and he's not gonna compromise his peace spiritually for you or nobody else, you got to look at the signs and recognize when you have a real man. And a lot of
Mhm.
women don't even know that.
And when I watch, when you look at all these TV shows right now, all these reality TV shows, it's all about what a woman can gain. Date a millionaire, marry a midget. You know what I mean?
You're
Like
married,
it's
Mitch.
all about. I mean, it's all kind of shit on TV. I saw some. That's a whole nother conversation. But I'm when did we get to this point, and why isn't it more about connection versus what? Give me your profile. I need to see your whole sheet. I need to see. This is what more I care about than actually who you are. You
Exactly.
know, because I've seen two times where, um, and I know people personally who do this. Like they have no problem. They'll take care of everything. But then when the shit is over, when the relationship is done, they regret it. And then they start saying these phrases, I'll never do that shit again.
Yeah.
Well, why did you do it in the first place? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why did you do it? And why did you feel the need to do it in the beginning? And that lets me know you did it for the wrong person or for the wrong reasons.
And that just means that they didn't take the time to prepare themselves. Um, People out here nowadays, got the microwave mentality. They want every fucking thing quick, ready to
Hmm.
go, ready set. When it comes to relationships, it's work. It's work you got to put in. It's compromise you have to put in. And when you have someone um, that meets you halfway and you're evenly yoked in a sense, um, that submission from us will begin to unfold naturally. And so now, as a woman, now I'm learning the difference between submission, you know, versus us looking at it like being controlled. It's not. Because when you submit to somebody, you're doing the shit because you choose to.
Hmm.
And a lot of our movement, I think, as women, is either it's what we've seen growing up in the household from the women coming before us. Um, and just speaking about my life personally, like I've seen the women in my family stay with their spouses and just prided themselves on having a spouse, even though they were either being physically abused, emotionally
Hmm.
abused, things of that nature, but they had a husband. So
Right.
when you coming up and you seeing shit like that, that's already building that alpha in you because your mindset is like, oh, I'm not gonna take that shit. I'm not going through that shit. I'm not gonna do that shit. But you really end up going through that shit in a whole
Right.
nother way.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And you know, when normally when I had these conversations, and if anybody wants to join in, you definitely can still join in. Just hit that link if you're on IG, if you're on Facebook. There's a link somewhere on the post in the bio. You can click that link and you can join us. And I can add as many people as I need, so I'm not running out of room. You can come on in. Don't be scared. But no, I just hear it just irritates me when I hear the thought process of people today when it comes to this particular subject. And I hear more not I hear more women say or feel, and this is what I take from it, that he ain't shit if he ain't paying these if he ain't taking care of this whole house bills unto my food, the vacations, the dating, I'm we're taking care of all your personals, we the whole nine. My thing is, and I got the $1 million question every time we had these type of conversations, and I'm like, what's your value?
Yeah.
What is your value? This man, if this man can do this on his own without your assistance, without your engagement, what is your value? What are you bringing? I'm taking care of the kids. Ah, that's great. Okay, cool. But at some
That's
point,
your
right?
divine
we-
order. So
But at some point, we know that the kids are going to be able to, you know, that only goes that only's going to go so far. You
yeah,
only can hold on to that for so many years, right? But when do you feel like you're going to contribute? Because as he gets older, he's going to slow down.
yeah,
Things are going to change. Life happens. So I'm just trying to. That's the stuff that I be just trying to figure out. Like, what is your value? Oh, I cook not clean. And truth be told, if he want, he can cook as clean his damn self. He can wash his clothes. He probably did all that shit before he met you. So that
yeah.
only holds a certain amount of weight. What is the value?
And again, you got to. I watch a lot of RC Blake uh, on YouTube, and one of uh, the videos I was watching, he was actually discussing about um, 10 key things for women to kind of look for to let you know that a man is really ready. When a man takes the time to prepare
So he went out.
but when a man takes the time to prepare for you, a good man is not necessarily going to have all his shit together. Sometimes it's going to take that woman to come in and put the pieces together. Also, you two working together and you sparking that fire underneath him. And then,
Hmm.
he's already got the plan in his mind, because a man is not going to pursue you in a certain way. He's going to already know what he wants from you when he approach you. He gonna either want to fuck you or he gonna want to marry you. Just keeping it real, because men know and pay attention to the qualities a woman has, and I think we forgot that y'all really do pay attention to shit. Y'all really do
Yeah.
pay attention to shit, and so it's like some of these women out here, they had a mindset of, okay, well, I'm gonna have to convince and make him know what he wants. No, he already knows what he wants. So when you have a man that might not have everything, but he takes the time to prepare his future and incorporate you in it, and you see all the shit lining up, we miss out on a lot of good men just because they don't have materialistic shit.
Hmm.
We miss
Exactly.
out on a lot of good men, and I can say that shit because I was raised and programmed that a man's supposed to take care of you and you ain't got to do shit. No, that's wrong. It's not that way. It's not that way. You know what I'm saying? I can't see how the fuck people can go sit up in church and holler hallelujah, this, that, and the third, but when it comes to the truth of the word, and the word telling you who you are, what your position is, and then you deviate from that, and then it's somebody else's motherfucking fault that shit is happening to you. Like, no, it's your fault because you didn't take the time to prepare for your mate, but you want your mate to be prepared for your
Hmm.
shit. Like, no, it don't work that way.
And then too, a real man's not going to even. He's not going to fully bring a woman into his bullshit until he's ready.
Yeah,
Until he's ready. Once he understands that he's ready and he's in position, then here comes the ring. Then here comes the marriage. And honestly, until he's comfortable and confident, that's when he's going to make that move and be happy and it's going to feel good about taking care of the whole house.
exactly.
You
And
know,
and the
and
man is built to take on the world. Women have took on the world because we made bad choices in men.
mm.
Does that make sense?
That's a whole other conversation. Yeah, yeah, and it just like I said earlier, it all goes back to understanding what you want, understanding who you are, where you're at in life, and then when you're in the dating world, asking the right questions,
Yeah.
figuring out that shit early. You listen to it, and this is where a lot of people make a lot of mistakes. They don't pay attention. They're not listening, and they're not talking. They're going places, right? Oh, we went to Vegas, went to Florida, we went to this place. Yeah, but when did you talk? Oh, we
And
went to
soon as
dinner.
y'all
We
get
had
back, y'all
this.
getting into it for the
Exactly. Like
dumbest
you can tell
shit.
me what you ate, but you can't tell me the dude last name. You could tell, you know what I mean? Like what what did you learn? How did you interact? How did you connect?
Yeah. A
See,
lot of
all that
people
shit matters.
have followed my journey on Facebook, and because a lot of people ask me like, why didn't you go on that show, 90 Day Fiance? I said, cause I ain't no 90-day bitch. I ain't no 90-day motherfucker. We didn't do this in 90 days. That's not how we are. Don't put us in that category. But a lot of people follow my relationship journey for a year online, and I ended up going
Mhm.
to Liberia and
Okay.
meeting my husband and being married over there. But what I will tell you is this: having a spiritual connection, an emotional connection, and a mental connection with a person outweighs the physical. And when that shit is strong as it is, sometimes the physical don't even matter because y'all are so in tune emotionally. You know what I mean? It's a different kind of
Yeah.
admiration you have for your partner, a different kind of love compared to you just, oh shit, he put it down. Well, yeah, you get to putting it down. All that shit be cool. But like like you said, what happened when he can't do that shit no more?
Right. Right.
Are you gonna
I
be
mean,
looking for the next person to replace that fleshly feeling? So it's a different kind of love, a different kind of admiration. I encourage women to kind of sit back and reevaluate themselves spiritually, get in the word, learn what your divine order is, as just a woman in the world, not just in a man's life, but in the world. And you can't go into nobody else's life if you don't even know who the fuck you are. Can't do it.
a lot of people define themselves. Kevin Gates said it. He said uh, something about. He said I put I cover all my insecurities with designer fashion, and that's what a lot of people do. They live vicariously through other things because they're not happy within. But like I said, at the end of the day, a woman is everybody's responsible for themselves. Nobody is responsible to take care of you. You're supposed to take care of yourself. Now, what somebody else does is extra.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Whatever they put on top of whatever it is you already doing for thyself is extra. But nobody has to come in and do shit.
No.
What I mean? Go get your own, have your own, so you can feel good. You shouldn't want or think that somebody, you know, I,
Mhm.
if you're not doing this, then we can't be like some people define their relationship based off Christmas gifts and shit. Like the thought process is just all screwed up. But I honestly feel now I'm gonna give um my opinion on this. My thing is this: if you got the money and you want to do it, fine, but don't kill yourself.
Yeah.
Figure out how your household works. Figure out what would be best for your home, but don't kill yourself. You
And
know what I
like
mean?
you
Because at the end of the
said,
day, you're going to strain yourself. It's going to cause stress, anxiety, and then at the end of the day, you're still not going to be happy. So if you can't just do it without it hurting you, then just don't do it. Figure out a way to where y'all can, split whatever needs to be done in the home and let that be that. And if that's not going to work, then she ain't the one for you. You know what I mean? She's not the one for you. You have to do what's best for the crib. And if she doesn't add any value, she just look good and the sex is great, you can get that shit anywhere. Matter of fact, you could pay for that and send it home and be, and be cool.
I wouldn't even pay for that shit because sometimes some of these motherfuckers need a refund any goddamn way. Yeah. Keep your bacteria vaginosis ass somewhere else. Then you be out here after the married men and trying to send their ass home and make us itch. Keep your ass where you at. Nobody
Yeah,
got
and
time
that's a
for that.
whole nother conversation. But
It sure is.
Sarita, I definitely want to thank you for joining me. I'm watching a lot of stuff online, and people are not. I know, I know, any other circumstance they'd be all up in this conversation, but it's okay. We're gonna keep the. We're gonna. I'm here every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Taj Longino Show, and we're gonna have more conversations like this. But I definitely want to thank you for joining me. Appreciate it.
That's what's up. Thank you for having me. Now I got to
All
figure
right.
out how to hang the fuck up. Look.
I think I got it. I'll see. I'll see. All right. Hey, she was great, and I definitely appreciate her for coming on. But yeah, I just think at the end of the day, man, when you are trying to figure out how you're gonna come together with somebody and make a life, and you gotta talk. You gotta figure out what your lifestyle goals are, what your financial goals are, and see where you can go from there. And if it clicks, it works, then that's great. If it doesn't, then you need to figure out something else. But don't feel like you got to kill yourself, and don't do it for people who are unappreciated, man. You know if you got somebody that appreciates what you do or not. You know if you got you a solid person or not. And if you do not know that if you have a solid person or not, then that's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother problem. But just know that you know two people supposed to come together to make to create to have a great life. It's not two people come together and one person creates this. No, two people come together and we both uh, make this life great, this partnership, this relationship, this marriage great. And that's what people need to remember, man. um, like I said, if you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. And if that person don't understand that or appreciate that, then they ain't the one for you. And that's not God's last man, and that's not God's last woman. Right? And if I appreciate everybody that tuned in. Make sure you tune in next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got a whole different conversation coming up next week. This is going to be about life insurance. All right, life insurance. The one thing nobody want to talk about. The one thing people don't want to talk about, don't have, but need when the shit hits the fan. All right. So next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here, we're going to be discussing life insurance. And I got a special guest who's going to come on, who's been in the insurance business, I believe, for over 20 years. They're going to come on and definitely give out some much needed information. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. Catch me on the gram. Catch me on TikTok. Catch me on Facebook. All right. Until next time, wake up, God damn it. And thank you for watching the Taj Longino Show.